This video was brought to you by Raycon. Don't look so sad, Bihan. You may have lost the amulet, but Raycon's everyday earbuds are basically the same thing? Yeah? Oh, don't give me that look. Their audio quality rivals all the other big audio brands you know and probably spent too much money on. The everyday earbuds start at a very affordable price that people can get down with, and if you need more convincing on that, the tens of thousands of 5-star reviews you can find on the website only make it more obvious. With the weather starting to warm up, I've been more active outdoors, rocking my Raycons, tuning out this miserable planet with the earbuds' fantastic noise isolation, getting ready for spring cleaning, and sprucing up the garage for future workouts. I think the rug I ordered was too big. Well, damn. Mother's Day isn't too far away either, and I think Raycons will make the perfect gift for her. It's better than gifting her a copy of Mortal Kombat Mythologies. People explode in that game. Why did he explode? Well, the everyday earbuds are always up to the task, at least with their 8 hours of playtime and 32-hour total battery life thanks to the rechargeable carrying case. And you can get your own pair by clicking the link in the description below or going to buyraycon.com/Somecallmejohnny. Get 20% off your Raycon purchase plus free shipping. It really helps support this channel and lets me fall to my death multiple times with peace of mind. I thank you all for your love and support. Now let's continue on with the show. So much for not having you guys wait too long for a next video like I said I was. I swear I have the shittiest fucking luck sometimes. So I go to PAX East in Boston. I had a great time with my friends, and I seriously cannot wait for Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail later this summer. I get home, get sick, and then that sickness eventually turns into what I can only describe as a week-long bout of super depression, which just gets worse and worse the worse the days go on, because I'm constantly thinking to myself, dude, you said you weren't going to have them wait too long for the next video, and yet here you are not doing anything. You're paralyzed. You know that you're paralyzed, and there's nothing you can do about it. You just gotta wait for it to pass. And it finally passes, and before I know it, it's been almost a month since the last video, and it's... I had a bit of an introspective moment, and I don't want to take too long, like clogging at the beginning of this video. I want you guys are here for the content and not my therapy session. But I'll go properly into what I was thinking about as we get to like the end of this video before I do like the Patreon shoutouts. But I just wanted to explain where I've been the last couple of weeks and how I'm going to be approaching this video differently, because for this one we're only going to be focusing on Mortal Kombat Mythologies. This video was originally supposed to be a hodgepodge of MK Mythology, Special Forces, and Shaolin Monks, but I decided for the sake of just easing back into things, I'm going to keep it to one game at a time like I originally did. Again, I will get into it at the end of this video. So today we're going to be focusing solely on Mortal Kombat Mythologies, and then next time I'll be diving into Special Forces. I've decided to also wait until I started diving into the 3D era of Mortal Kombat games before I look at Shaolin Monks, the beat 'em up starring Liu Kang and Kung Lao. I think I can make a better video about that game with these games under my belt, and I really want to find the time to get my brother LA to join for this one. But let's dive in. After the third Mortal Kombat was released in 1995, the continued success of the franchise motivated the folks behind Midway to start making spin-offs. Games that would star your favorite fighters in their own stories for the sake of fleshing them out and getting more out of the world of Mortal Kombat, at least in the video games proper, because by this time there was already a live-action movie, comic books, and a couple of animated adaptations that may have been okay.
Could there still be a soul, some trace of a human left? I don't have a clue.
But it was time to get more interactive. Mortal Kombat was a video game series first and foremost, so let's give fans a deeper look into what makes these characters who they are, and first up to bat was everyone's favorite blueberry snow cone, Sub-Zero. With a name like Mortal Kombat Mythologies Sub-Zero, I assumed the plan was to make multiple mythology games that star different characters, so maybe the next one after this would have been a Scorpion game that would end with him getting cucked by someone. But there could have also been, a Cooking with Kano simulator, or Johnny Cage trying to avoid the allegations. The sky was the limit, at least until Mythologies actually released, and it bombed so hard that any future attempt at another spin-off was quietly dropped, although maybe the folks behind Special Forces didn't get the memo. Today, I'm going to find out why a lot of folks didn't like this, and hopefully, maybe, I can find something to enjoy about it. That said, my earliest memories of this game was reading about it in publications in and around 1997, and initially I was pretty excited at the idea. Sub-Zero's getting his own game. He was already my favorite character in Mortal Kombat. What's not to love about that? But then I noticed in those same magazines that the game looked like it was an adventure game with Mortal Kombat controls, and then I immediately decided against it. At 10 years of age, I already had plenty of experience with side-scrollers, both good and bad. Mortal Kombat as a fighting game works. It may not be the most intuitive fighter out there, some even consider it too rigid, and the only thing that carries it is its gore and fatalities. But I could still have a ton of fun with it, and I did throughout the years. But when you try and take those same mechanics and just place it in a 2D side-scroller with almost no effort placed in making it work properly for its new setting, you might run into some problems. Hell, if you want a primo example of that without it being Mortal Kombat, check out Batman Forever for the Super Nintendo. That predates Mortal Kombat Mythologies by about 2 years. Everything about this game was the bat shits, but the most egregious part were the controls, because guess what? It was just Mortal Kombat, with a big riddle at the end. Ugh. Now, it's true that we're so many years past that, and I'm just getting into this game finally for myself. Still, I think I had a good idea of what I was getting myself into here. And you might be thinking, but John, didn't you watch your friend Matt play for SGB? Listen, unless I'm playing a game for myself, I have the memory retention of a fucking goldfish, okay? I'll be playing the PlayStation 1 version for this video for the record. I was humoring the idea of playing both the PS1 and N64 version for this, but then I thought, no. The big difference between the two is that the N64 version sadly doesn't have any of the live action FMVs for the story beats. It's just screen grabs and basic text. And I'm gonna jump the gun on this now. Without these FMVs, there is no point in playing this game at all. Yeah, the live action bits are the best part of the game. And you don't even need to play the game to see them. You can just watch them on YouTube and save yourself some time and money. Also, really quick, I love how the game opens up with the definition of the word mythologies. It reads like Midway, just kind of low-key calling all gamers out there idiots, and yeah, that's perfectly fair. To quickly get into the story though, so this game takes place before the first Mortal Kombat. You're placed in control of the original Sub-Zero Bi-Han, who represents the Lin Kuei, a group of highly skilled assassins that specialize in cryomancy. They can free shit. They're also not ninjas, just to make sure about that, and if you have any doubts, they will remind you about that repeatedly through the series.
Let's get something straight. I am not a ninja. I am Lin Kuei. Scorpion was a ninja.
Where's the ninja convention?
Lin Kuei are not ninjas.
I would have given my right arm to be raised by badass ninjas.
The Lin Kuei are not ninjas.
Now that may seem weird at first, but I think this game will give us a good enough reason why the Lin Kuei don't like to be called the dreaded N-word. Sub-Zero has been tasked by his Grand Master to retrieve this map of the elements. Their paying client, Quan Chi, making his Mortal Kombat in-game debut here, actually, since the game predates Mortal Kombat 4, he wants Sub-Zero to use said map to travel to the Temple of the Elements and locate this mystical amulet that Quan Chi insists holds a lot of personal value to him, but he can't go there himself since he's not in the best terms with Earthrealm's gods, particularly Raiden. Quan Chi believes that Sub-Zero's mastery of cold gives him an advantage over the 4 gods of the elements, spoiler warning. Not really, but one step at a time here. So at the behest of his Grand Master, Sub-Zero takes the map and heads to the Temple of the Elements to deal with the 4 elementals and retrieve the amulet. We're not even like 10 minutes in and I'm already constipated from this amount of cheese. Legit, I really do love the live action bits. I mean, it's not good, like in a traditional sense, but the overacting and mannerisms of everyone involved is so over the top that it's still very much entertaining. And I think everyone involved was having a blast too. There are outtakes for this game you unlock by doing some stupid shit. I don't know, kissing Shinnok on the lips. And you look at these guys and it looks like everyone's just happy to be there.
I heard things. I heard things. I heard things.
If you wanted more of the live action cheese you got from like the original Resident Evil on PlayStation 1, this should tickle your fancy. And this one has ninjas and gods. I don't know who played Sub-Zero for this, but I guess his mask is slowly cutting off circulation to his brain because my dude looks like he's struggling to breathe most of the time. Look at him, he looks like he's getting ready to blow someone's house down with all this huffing and puffing. You know, Scorpion has the same problem too. Somebody make these guys some fucking air holes, good God. The only dude I recognized off the bat was the guy who played Quan Chi, Richard DeVizio. He's been involved with Mortal Kombat since the first game, believe it or not. He provided the digital motion capture for Kano in the first few games, Baraka in Mortal Kombat 2, and later he's going to show up for a Shang Tsung cameo in the ending, and you know what though? He's the best part of this game. He doesn't have much screen presence. Well, no one does. This game isn't very long. But Mr. DeVizio unapologetically chews up the scenery in every goddamn scene he's in and is the main reason I like the live action bits so much. Sadly, the live action bits are only a fraction of this game, so we should probably get into the game proper. It takes less than a minute before you're just thrown into the thick of it, and yep, this sure is regular-ass Mortal Kombat controls and mechanics placed in a side-scrolling adventure game. Oh god, you can't even turn around on a dime without hitting the proper button for it now. And I don't mean like just hitting back on the D-pad. I mean, no, you have to hit the shoulder button to turn Sub-Zero around. Oh, this is mad awkward. Not that it matters in this year of 2024, but maybe it would have been better if you could, you know, double tap the D-pad to turn around, because I tell you, man, having to hit the shoulder button to turn, especially in mid-combat, never gets fucking comfortable. It sucks. So in the process of me recording Batman Forever footage for the Super Nintendo for the sake of this video, to my utter shock and horror, I learned that this game actually allowed you to turn direction with the D-pad just fine. Now, while the logical thing might be me praising this game for doing something not even MK Mythologies did right, the very thought of me giving any kind of praise to this game makes me very nauseous, so I'm not going to do that. But everything else works about the same as it did in the original game, so for what it's worth, the game is faithful to its roots. Despite being a master of ice though, you can't spam your freezing abilities too much, since each move costs a certain amount of mana. So you gotta wait for it to recharge properly before going on another bloodfest. Anyway, it looks like Scorpion got here before I did and wants to get the map for himself. Time to give chase and show Scorpion how the Lin Kuei do things. Alright, so the Master Assassin can't land on his feet. In all seriousness, you're supposed to jump on the tiny ass ledge of this building and then land on this awning to safely reach the lower level. Thank God I inputted the code for infinite lives and extra healing items before starting the game. Why they decided to put something this stupidly precise as early as the first minute of the game baffles me. Also, why doesn't the password screen have the letter A? Is it stupid? Infinite lives makes things less bothersome, but you will undoubtedly eat shit from all the upcoming death traps anyway, and there's a lot of them. Most of them just turn Sub-Zero into meat sauce, but you'll get the occasional impalement, getting caught in the blender, the tenderizer, or just fall down a bottomless pit. And it's funny as shit, the game just reuses the same FMV of Sub-Zero falling into the abyss, just with a different background depending on the circumstance. My favorite being the Hellfire one. To go back to what I said earlier, yeah, I did mention healing items, and you will need all that you can get because enemies in this game are almost as obnoxious as they are in the arcade game. Now, they don't perfectly counter everything you do, but you know, they love to jump kick you as soon as you try and jump over them. Even on medium difficulty, they will block your attacks most of the time, so you better master that throw command as soon as you can, assuming you can get it to work. Honestly, this shit is so not worth it that the go-to strategy for me later on is just using the double freeze to instantly shatter them without much fuss. I don't think you get as much experience killing them that way, but really, who fucking cares? I'm not even fighting most of these guys anyway. If I can't freeze them and roundhouse kick them into a bottomless pit, I'm just running past them. I find most of Sub-Zero's utility involving his ice powers to be practically worthless. Most of my gameplay with Sub-Zero is just me using the basic freeze and ground slide. That's it. But these douchebags are likely gonna get the jump on you as soon as the game loads. What the asshole? Guys, this happens in multiple points in this game. Enemies just rapidly approach you from off screen and beat your ass down. Some don't even need to get close. The dudes in the later half have projectiles that you won't see coming. In fact, they're so good at this and really hate your fucking guts that they can even bring you back from the ethereal plane to beat your ass some more. There's a few dedicated power-ups in this game to help even the odds. Most just restore your vitality should you take too much damage. Fucker! But there's also some that grant invincibility for a brief period, and that's okay. Doesn't do shit against the instant death traps though. Whoa, that was interesting. The death trap technically killed me, but Sub-Zero wasn't turning the meat chunks. Oh well, I'll just try again. Well, what the fuck? You can only hold so many items at once though. Your inventory is pretty limited, and key items you need to unlock certain doors take up space too. And so if you want that Triforce piece, you're gonna have to drink your radiation juice first, Beyond. This game can be described as a run-of-the-mill side-scroller with Mortal Kombat controls and a shitload of backtracking. This game places a large emphasis on finding keys to unlock doors, and shit, as early as the second stage, these places can be labyrinthian, and there's no map feature, so you'll have to whip out that good old text document to keep track of where you're going. But honestly, the exploration element in this game isn't terrible. I was able to remember where I've been and haven't with just regular observation. It wasn't until the second half where you're in the Netherrealm where I found maps necessary, and occasionally you'll find the lack of conveyance to be bothersome, but I did find most of this game to be straightforward, and there's a good amount of checkpoints thrown around that ensures death isn't too punishing. It's just the Mortal Kombat controls make even basic platforming so incredibly sluggish, precise, and more difficult than it needs to be, and the game already starts pretty hard with do-or-die jumps, timed obstacles, and no, wait, ow, ow, ow. Fuck you. When it's time to get down and dirty, it's basically just regular Mortal Kombat, a fighting game with notoriously bullshit AI. You do have access to some dialogue combos from Mortal Kombat 3, you know, if that was your thing. I tried to pull off what I could when I could, but most of the time, I was fucking Johnny Lawrence with the amount of leg sweeping I was doing. This is also one of those games where you need to play on at least the medium difficulty to get to the second half, otherwise your journey ends as soon as you finish off the temple, so heads up on that one. You don't want to miss Scorpion delivering one of the best lines in Mortal Kombat history.
Who are you? I am a dead man,
but somehow you have retained your mortality, which would mean you are vulnerable to death.
What?
You only get this rematch in another realm if you manage to kill Scorpion in the first encounter way back in the first stage. And I couldn't do that originally. The fatality command is the same as the original game, forward, down, forward, high punch. The game just wasn't accepting it, and now I was playing in this alternate reality where Scorpion didn't die, but his family still gets shit on anyway. Not that it really matters in the end. I think the total amount of people you can kill with your class of fatality is 2. And the other person isn't until near the end of the game. Maybe if I bothered hanging around to actually fight these guys, I would, but fuck. Every stage in the temple ends with a fight against one of the 4 elementals, the first being Fujin, the god of wind. And without any context to this dude, you could tell me he was just cosplaying as Thor, and I believe it in a heartbeat. If and when he managed to beat him, he tries to pull a fast one on you and deliver an instant kill, but with the power of 1-inch tall ledges, Fujin ends up killing himself in a frankly confusing fashion. Why did that happen? I don't know, and it ain't the last time this happens either. A lot of things tend to die in this game via explosive decompression. Fujin's about the most interesting the bosses get though. The Earth Temple has you face off against this large, distractingly 3-dimensional golem that you can defeat by repeatedly dropping this lift on him. The Water Temple's boss, with enough booze in me, I swear it's just Glacier from Killer Instinct. Really easy to beat too, considering the bosses he precedes.
Supreme victory!
A part of me wanted more details on the Fire Temple boss. It just looks like some dude that's on fire, the poor fuck. You know, deep down, there's a story there, but the game won't elaborate any further. And shortly after his defeat, Sub-Zero claims his prize, the mystical amulet.
The amulet!
Or Quan Chi can just swipe it last second like a fucking comedy sketch.
Goodbye, ninja.
Seriously, how did Sub-Zero not see him? He took the amulet right in front of his face, and look how tiny this platform is around the amulet. There's no way Quan Chi could have approached it without Sub-Zero catching eye of him, or did he take it through the power of editing? Oh, but I love how pouty Sub-Zero gets afterwards. He's like, fuck, I really let that happen, huh? But then Raiden suddenly enters the scene, scolds Sub-Zero for being a moron, and then sends him to Quan Chi's home in another realm to get the amulet back. In actuality, the amulet belongs to a fallen elder god named Shinnok, who could use the amulet to begin his invasion on not just Earthrealm, but all the other realms too. And Quan Chi lives to serve this guy, so rest assured, Quan Chi will do everything in his power to keep Sub-Zero away from Shinnok, including getting his personal guard to ambush and beat the fuck out of him, and that legit made me laugh out loud for how sudden it was. There's even a dude down here that rides a fucking dinosaur, and that's never explained or elaborated on. This just some dude riding a dinosaur, and it's metal as fuck. What a strange place the Netherrealm is. But Quan Chi also has death robots with buzzsaws for hands, and sadly, these are not only what you're facing the most, but they're also so boring to fight. You can't combo them worth a damn, they're immune to freezing because fuck you, Bihan. So where does this leave Sub-Zero?
Disappointed!
There's also Quan Chi's personal squad of assassins, Serena, Kia, and Jataka. The only one really mattering in any sense is Serena, since she secretly wants to leave the Netherrealm and start anew elsewhere. And I mean, can you blame her with all these polygonal death robots roaming around the area? The other 2 are just your standard goons that you fight like any other Mortal Kombatant, not much else to say. You'll reach Quan Chi's lair in no time.
Join my brothers of the shadow and worship our Lord Shinnok.
Never, sorcerer!
Then, so it shall be, ninja.
Yeah, he definitely means that as a slur. Quan Chi, for as miserable as it was to get to him, he's not too bad to fight. You just gotta hope his AI shits the bed when it matters. Look at this asshole. Is he stealing my soul as you're trying to yank my mask and catapult it to my face? If you spared Serena's life earlier, she'll finish the job for you once you get Quan Chi down to 10% health. Why did he explode? Did he see what Fujin can do and thought, oh, I can fucking do that, watch this. Serena doesn't last long though. Despite wishing to accompany Sub-Zero back to Earthrealm, she's almost immediately killed by Shinnok, delivering a look I can only describe as, it was me who farted in the elevator. The final boss against Shinnok is interesting. The goal isn't actually to kill him. You just gotta sneak from behind, swipe the amulet from his neck, watch him transform into whatever the fuck this is, and then run away like a bitch. And that's it, I'm totally serious. You can stay and try to fight this thing, but the only move you have at your disposal that can actually hurt him like this is your Polar Blast, one of the last moves you learn, and that takes the most mana to use. How the fuck am I supposed to do that? Oh, whatever, fuck this, I'm out. So Sub-Zero retrieves the amulet, delivers it back to Raiden, and Shinnok's ambitions are thwarted for the time being, at least until Mortal Kombat 4. Our game ends with the Grandmaster introducing Sub-Zero to Shang Tsung, who invites him to a tournament known as Mortal Kombat. And that's that. So, that was, Honestly, if it weren't for the fact that the game was so insistent on sticking with the default Mortal Kombat mechanics, I could see this game being much better as an adventure game if it had controls worth a damn. I mean, that really is the major thing that stinks up the whole joint, making what should be a relatively straightforward journey into a slog that wants you dead repeatedly. Midway's experiment would end up failing, as any future plans for other spin-offs would quietly fade away, at least for another couple of years. And for my next video, we will be covering that second attempt, Mortal Kombat Special Forces, and, well, I don't know. But to go back to what I was saying earlier in the beginning of the video, I decided from this point forward, unless I think I can really make it work, unless I think it's appropriate, I'm not going to stress too much about making overly large videos covering multiple games at once to appease an algorithm that doesn't really care for me. You know, my videos are for myself. My videos are for you guys. And while I greatly appreciate your love and patience, and you guys hammer that down every single time, and I'm thankful for that, I hate that I have to make you guys wait that long for videos, and I'm tired of it. Unless it's like a really long game, right? If it's like another, like a From Software game, it's like another Dark Souls or an RPG, then that's justifiable. But for something like Mortal Kombat Mythologies, Special Forces, Shaolin Monks, no, it's like, I just want to go back to how I did it beforehand, where, you know, I'd make some smaller videos here and there, but people didn't care. Like, they watched it anyway if it tickled their fancy, and that's all that really matters. And I felt for the last 2 years I've been losing sight of that. And now that I have you guys support via the Patreon and Twitch subs, I should be using that freedom to just make sure that I'm happy with what I can do with my videos, and not still trying to grow something into something that I don't even know what the fuck it is. You know, you guys come from my content, you guys come from me specifically. I need to stop trying to be these other content creators that are way more successful than I am, because again, you guys come to this channel for me, and I think I was almost at the point of losing sight of that, and I don't want it to get that bad again. So I'm just gonna go back to the way things were. And well, with all that said, I will see you guys. Well, actually, almost forgot the patron shoutouts. All right, so once again, shout outs to more of my $10 patrons. Again, you can find a link to the Patreon in the description below, or maybe there's a card up top here somewhere, or you can just go to patreon.com/Somecallmejohnny. Become a backer, get access to the sub Discord. We do a lot of events together, live streams, recording sessions, you name it, and I get to read your name at the end of these videos, if that, you know, tickles your fancy. Anyway, Mike Hawk, Carbon Eden, Mosby Dick, Jack Clark, Metal J Rock 2299, David Perez, Alan 501, Whoa Meatball, Daniel Holmes, Shiny Umbreon, Foxy Hex, Mental Metadale, John Juan Charles Carlos Guard, what JC, KJR, whatever, Glazvaska, Jamie Dosdale, Kari Renee, Rose or Rose, I think it's probably just Rose. Matt Hop, Tyler Nocturne, Crimson DX, Squishy Chain 112, Faded, Mediocre Panda, The Nerd King, CJ, Murgle Merlinton, Sil Jeff, Sino ZX, Breakfast and Stuff, The Animation Analyst, Daniel Joseph Davies, Audie Embestro, Thundaga Mage, Austin Anton EC Rep, Oro Money, Hunter Bear 97, Jubris, Noah Monroe, Last Legend, Mr. Chaos, General Williams, Heroes Rise Up, Kane, Rando the Game Guy, Sam Procrastinates, Michael Kelly, Mr. Rainbow Tie, Mr. Kryptonite, Devin Ellis, Smiling Dread 04, Jordan 624, Alex Michael Cookendorfer, Romy Camilo, Zany, Random Thought JB, The Keon Squad, Brave Soon 7, Josiah Andrews, RHKJ number 9 Tro, I think, Soul the Fart Collector, Scart, Zachary Gray, The Bone Father of Law, Trios, Joshua Scalper, Alto or A Alto, Harvey Tinkletoes, Michael Boyles, Mojo LaCroix, Dreaming VA James, Vern Heifelberg, Frank Rosada, Katie Nguyen, Boardman, Kingdom 850, Retro Chaos Leonardo, Emily Evans, The Quirky Frog, Steve Roethlisberger, Bracky Zach, Critical Link, Lee Fox, Kestra Atoll, Mocha, Jonathan Malord, Scruff, and finally for this video, Mr. Boo. More Patreon shoutouts to come in the end of the next video. And again, that is Mortal Kombat Special Forces, starring Jackson Briggs. I was gonna say Jackson Biggs, because I think I was thinking of his like that silly ass fatality where he grows like 20 feet tall and steps on the opponent. It was a weird fucking fatality. But anyway, as always, thank you all for your love and support. I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you all for watching. Stay safe out there. Have yourselves a fantastic night, and take care.